Hello everyone, in this video you can find a demo for our visualization tool which will visualize data from a historical battle dataset. First off, let me give you an overview of our dataset. The dataset consists of historical battles which were fought between 1600 and 1963. This is because more accurate data is available during these periods. The data provides interesting details like commanders, the use of advantages like ambushes and the quality of troops, but also terrain and intelligence and much more. Next, with some pre-processing of the data, we were able to identify the coordinates of the battles. Using the data, we will be discussing several questions which we want to know using our tool. So first off, we wanted to see where all the battles were fought. This is why we did the initial pre-processing of the data. Next, we wondered which country is the most successful considering the number of battles fought, the number of victories, and the number of defeats. Finally, we wanted to compare commanders to see which commanders were the most successful and which advantages they utilized to overcome their enemies. With these questions, we created a visualization application which gave an answer to these questions. So now let's dive into our application.
So when we first open up our application, we land on the homepage. On the homepage, there is additional information about our visualization tool. For example, the team who created this application, which includes me, but also other information like the data set, which was already mentioned previously. But you can check out the link if you want to, where you can maybe visualize your own data. And at last, we have a section with our features, which describes what our features actually do. So when we check out our first feature, which is the battle map, we get a grand map which overviews all the battles which were fought in a specific period. For example, if we open it now, we can see all battles which were fought between 1600 and 1963. If we zoom on the battle map, we can see the battles more clearly. If we click on a battle, for example this one, we can see the details of this battle. For example, this is the Battle of Lake Naroch, where Russia was an attacker and Germany was a defender. There is also a nice add-on on this feature where we can actually fight our battles ourselves. So if we fight our battle, we can see that actually the defender won this time, which was Germany. We can now close this. Also another interesting feature is that we can filter out these battles to see specific battles. For example, if I filter for World War I, which was fought between 1914 and 1918, we can see all the battles that were fought, or at least all the battles that have been recorded in the dataset. And we can also select different battles. This is very nice if you want to see where specific battles were fought in a specific time period. So you can play with this yourself if you want to. On the next feature, we have some statistics about our dataset. Here we can actually, if we check the checkbox, for example, if I check the amount, we can see which country fought how many battles. For example, we can see that Germany has fought the most amount of battles between the period 1600 and 1966, I believe, or 1963, I think it was. So Germany fought 265 battles. We can also see that the amount of wins, for example, again, Germany won the most amount of battles compared to other countries. And we can also check the defeat box to see the amount of defeats. For example, we can see over here that USA had the most amount of defeats compared to the other countries. Here we can see which country was actually the most successful during their warfare. I would say Germany was the most successful because they won a lot of battles compared to the amount of defeats. And for example, USA, they lost more battles than they won. And France won about the same amount of battles than they lost. So you can check this these statistics if you want to. Next, we have our commanders. We can compare commanders by selecting commanders. For example, if I select this one and this one, we get an overview of these commanders. Here we can see the amount of battles fought, the victories, defeats, and the best advantages. If we hover over these advantages, we can see what icon represents what advantage. There is also a rating mapped to commanders based on the defeat or victory ratio, but also based on the amount of battles fought and the use of advantages. Below, you can see all battles which were fought by one commander, which we can open to see some details. This feature is very useful if we want to compare specific commanders. We can also filter commanders by rating, for example, to see which commanders were the most successful. Here we can see that Napoleon Bonaparte was one of the most successful commanders in this data set, followed by Eugene from the Holy Roman Empire, Wellington by Great Britain, and then so on. So this was our visualization tool. There is a lot of exploration still available, but I think we definitely answered the questions we wanted to. And I think our visualization tool is really useful for visualizing the battles.